ahead and turn in the rule in the
Good morrow to you, my friend.
1,000 tomes. Oh, we got some stuff to ask about too. Ask about origin.
Ah, yes.
Arrived at a solution then. Beyond will carry us.
Indeed.
Befitting the final act. I congratulate myself that I shall live long enough to see it. Feat for in itself for a man of my years. But to be serious, it is no small thing to march against fate, Clive. You must be certain of your footing. It's the winds of destiny divert you for your course. Are you certain of your footing, Clive? I am.
Then go.
You must. Ask about Dion.
I well recall.
Time I spent at the Imperial Palace instructing the young prince on the history of our realm. It was quite unlike the other noble-born children I had taught. Not only the keenness with which he listened, but for the earnestness of his conviction.
He truly believed.
But it was the Empire's duty to serve the people, was determined to study the past, that he might not repeat its mistakes. Which is the reason why that what befell Twinside weighs so heavily on his soul. He must live with the consequences, and I fear it will take more than merely time to heal such wounds.
It will take forgiveness.
Not from you or me, or his country. Not even from his late father. No.
From himself.
Then might his flower bloom again. Ask about Joshua.
If I may observe.
Your brother is possessed of a rare gift, and I do not mean the flames of the phoenix. What, Clive? His findings on Ultima and the Circle of Malleus are worthy of the great Moss himself. Should he choose to devote himself to this path, I hazard he could one day become quite the historian. Not before you and he finish your own story.
History can wait.
Hurrah, for that is what it does. Eat 1,000 tomes.
I have a few new notes that might interest you.
Order of the
I have
Realm.
quite the find for you today.
Oh, all the new lore. Wow. Barnabas' mother, one of the few surviving descendants of the children of Dismekes who fled from Valisthea and took refuge in the outer continent, only returning generations later. She and her clan were devout believers in the Circle of Malleus, whose teachings she instilled in her son. Teachings and memories that he treasures to this day. Alas, her beliefs were also to prove her downfall. She was killed in a raid by the followers of a rival religion. Lost the Chronicler. For a fabled scholar of Valisthean history and legend, when Harpocrates was but a boy, Moss visited his village on the outer continent. Perhaps seeing something else in the young Scarlet Bee, the master took him under his wing. However, their time together was soon to come to an end, for one day Moss and his journal were gone, leaving nothing but a note behind, one which read, "Seek knowledge." The young Harpocrates took these words to heart. Knowing he's here. Dismekes Falls. Vast circular cavity carved from the Dalmatian coast. It is here the mother crystal known as Dismekes once stood. In the Age of the Fallen, man hoping to reclaim the power of the god laid siege to the crystal in an attempt to gain entry to its ether-rich heart. Rather than attempt to fend off the insult, he instead responded by destroying the mother crystal and its heart. The great crater left behind standing as a reminder of man's hubris. Continent. Vast landmass situated far from the Valisthean shores. Aside from the most intrepid traders, few have been known to brave the journey there or back, for which reason the character and customs of its peoples remain a mystery to most. Legend claimed that remnants of the fallen fled thither from the twins when their civilization collapsed, but even the most bookish continental will be hard-pressed to explain what became of them in the intervening millennium. Great Horn. Mother Crystal which stood in southern Ash, in an area now lost to the Blight. All of Drake's Horn left Drake's spine, the only Mother Crystal on the continent, sparked a decades-long conflict for control of its ethereal bounty. After much bloodshed, it was the erstwhile nation of Veldemart which finally subjugated the warring tribes of Ash and established a kingdom of what is now known as Stonehearth. War of the Magi. One of the great conflicts waged near the end of the Age of the Fallen, in which mankind, fielding fantastical clockwork armies fueled by powerful magics, fought for control of the Mother Crystals. This, however, worked to hasten the drain of the ether from the land, and thereby gave rise to the Blight. By the time the fighting had ceased and peace was restored, the wounds suffered by both humanity and the land had grown too deep to heal. Civilization began its slow yet inevitable march into darkness. It was only a matter of winters before the 1,000 years of knowledge used to build the great Magitech faded. It was eventually lost to history. Echoes. Not me. Strange clockwork constructs often encountered in near-fallen ruins. They were once only ever found protecting such structures, but in the aftermath of the Primogenesis, beneath the blackened skies that followed, they emerged from the ruins at last. Now can be seen all over Valisthea. The widely assumed to be vestiges of the fallen civilization, it seems they were in fact originally servants of Ultima. Read about him in a time lost to memory. and that it was only over long years of scavenging wreckage from fallen ruins that they took on their current form. This ultimate reawakening, they've been guided by his will and his will alone. Their sanctum. Sacred chambers in which the hearts of the mother crystals are enshrined, erected far beneath the time of before the time of the fallen, when humanity was still in its infancy. Their original purpose was simply to provide protection for the fragile cores. Time passed, however, they were slowly transformed into places of worship. Circle of Malleus. The ancient religion from which more recent savior cults grew. Its beliefs were originally drawn from murals left behind by the people who lived near the mother crystals as Mechis. But while at one point it was a faith followed throughout Valisthea time and in the fading memory of the ancient culture that spawned it, saw it gradually fall from favor.
You wish to study the tomes?
Thanks for that, Hippocrates. Anything new? No more new missives. We are slowly but surely making progress on all these quests. I'm just going to clear out the hideaway. Let's go see what Joshua wants. Once I'm done clearing out the hideaway, I think I've only got like a couple of onesie-twosies down at like Dalamil, and I'm assuming that this is like the follow-up to what happens to Lubor. Yep. Duty Undying. There's 2 there. And 1 up here at Northreach. Vale. This is probably, yeah, a follow-up to the Duke. Alright. So we're slowly but surely making progress. It's gonna be another couple hours before I can get back to the main story.
Ah, Clive.
Where there's a will.
Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say nothing.
It's... not nothing. I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will. Or something akin to it.
His will? How and where?
In the crypt beneath Rosalith Castle. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so, they found a letter from Father.
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go, but... would you join me?
Of course.
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I am ready to leave when you are.
Alright. Another brotherly adventure. Speak with Cyril. Tabor. Find out what's happening. Father's will, huh? Elwin's will. Cyril.
Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from Father.
Yes, I have it here. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
My beloved sons, know that I ask much of you in this coming war, but I see no other way to secure a future for our duchy and our family. Either should we succeed in subduing the savages and winning back Drace's breath, alas, the threat the blight still loomed, and only with all Rosaria striving as one might we at last overcome it. I've made plans to see us through, but such are the obstacles that stand in our way. It shall likely fall to you to continue my work. I know that you have the strength, the courage, and the will to do so. This shall be an arduous inheritance, and so I offer you another, that you might be reminded of the love and the faith that I hold for both of you. Your father, Elwin.
An inheritance?
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim.
Oh, damn.
But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical technologies. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwin saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides, those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the less benevolent personages at court.
It's a pity only they are still with us.
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer the Duchess's wrath. But one at least remains, and she has come bearing gifts.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain, my lord. After all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering His Grace's will and arranging a meeting with the one who might execute it, or a part of it at least.
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive, Your Grace.
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
Archduke Elwin's testament. Speak with Archduke Elwin's aid in the requiratory. Up there, huh? Well, no reason to turn on my camera then. Need a quick jaunt up here.
This is the requiratory, an archive where we of the Undying collect and collate our findings. Fragments of Ultima's true nature surely lie buried within these pages. We have only to unearth them.
Lord Cyril, Acolyte Station across Valisthea reported a curious change in the primeval structures we have come to refer to as monoliths following the fall of Drake's tail and the change in the skies. Let me present the preliminary findings of archaeologians' investigations into these monoliths most near at hand. We were able to visually confirm the activation of the structure in the northern reaches of Velcory. The sandstorm forced our temporary retreat. We'll make a second attempt when the wind drops. In Draco's Deep, the team was able to make a direct contact with the monolith. However, no further changes observed upon touching its surface. Or upon dealing its terrible stout blows with both fist and blade, or the purpose of its activation appear to be other than that of the defensive echoes we have encountered along previous relics of the fallen and their predecessors. We continue our investigations both of the monolith proper and of any historical writings that might refer. Before inform your lordship forthwith should they produce any discoveries of note. Phoenix is flame bearer and ever in your heart. Homage. Second Order of Archaeology.
The Undying are not the only secret fellowship in this realm, you know. There are others, each working for their own ends. Why, not so very long ago, a society committed to discovering how one might cast magics without a catalyst was found to be operating throughout Valisthea. They were denounced as heretics, rooted out, and driven from our shores, never to be seen again.
Feels bad. First Order of Archaeologians Dalmatian Wing 53rd Monthly Report. Item 1. Further discoveries from our acolyte ensconced within the recently displaced mountain dwellers' remote settlement. The diminutive tribe's main village appears to be in receipt of regular deliveries of supplies from Hugo Kupa's Men of the Rock. On inquiring with the locals, it became apparent that they have the deepest respect for the one they call Lord Kupka. Whether he has merely bought their loyalty or if there is some deeper connection between the tribe and Titan remains unclear. Full's guest. Ma'am?
My lord, your grace. I hardly recognize you. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant to the Phoenix and his shields. Your father, the Archduke Elwin, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift. I only hope you can forgive my tardiness in bringing it to you.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude for your service to our house and to our father.
I merely did my duty, as any proud Rosarian would.
My lady, perhaps you could explain a little more? What exactly is the gift you bring?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes upon their coming of age.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when our turn would come.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching armbands for you both. Alas, he did not live. Indeed, he was taken from us even before they could be completed. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself, but it was not to be. And his gifts remain incomplete.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as they are. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles, not these works in progress. But with his grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed, I had little choice. You are grown men now, and his house is yours. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in his stead, I know that nothing would have pleased him more than for you to do so.
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady. May our father's will be done.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this Heartstone, my lady?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happening upon it. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen has made its nest in Titan's Wake, not far from here.
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In answer to your unspoken question, yes. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its movements since you were but a boy. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield, it would surely make your father proud.
Yeah, this thing.
What say you, Joshua?
This beast is 20 years
What
old.
else?
Ish, 18 years. Over 18. Over 18. More. Probably is close to 20. Place him or in Titan's Wake. Alright then.
Titan's Wake is to the south of it.
Go down, hang a left, and then hang a right.
But we must not be hasty. The good lady has been disappointed once already.
I don't think we have anything to worry about. Oh, let's go see what this legendary beast that Elwin was gonna slay is looking like. Oh, other way.
Come on. Fly, Ambrosia.
I hug the right wall and it'll get me there. Wait. Yeah. Out of the way, idiots.
All right.
Back here. Wonder if this is a hunt. Like a no shit hunt, Mark.
Eyes peeled, Joshua.
Nope, doesn't seem to be.
There it is. For House Rosfield. Fire and flame!
Slayer. Kingslayer move is kind of some shit. Oh, maxed out Zontet's again. Stone. Griffins suffer something akin to the crystal's curse, their flesh slowly turning to stone over a lifetime of channeling ether. Unlike bears, however, the effect is far more gradual and limited to a sac around their hearts, the slower progressive petrification resulting in the formation of a gemstone of rare beauty. Oh.
Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Goritha will know.
I'm gonna go back first. But first, go ahead and max this out. Nice. Got level 5. Now what do I start saving for? I think I start saving for Dancing Steel.
Run like the wind.
Nice. I'm gonna go make these dope armbands. Kind of sick that it's like a Griffin's petrified heart, though, or at least what was not fully petrified, but part of it. Left, and then hang around and hug the wall to the right. To see what these armbands look like. I'm sure it's like something for me to put in my bed chambers, but you never know.
No need to ride from here.
Tater. We'll just slowly walk our way over here. Yeah, the art direction of this game is fucking top tier. Everything is so fucking aesthetically pleasing to look at. Like, flashes and tones and everything are so freaking cool.
Oh, thank the Founder you were safe. The Griffin is slain then?
Yep.
And the Heartstone claimed.
So, times 2.
Yes. This radiant luster, like frozen flame. It is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your grace. Your father would be so proud.
Lady Goritha, the lapidary is ready.
Thank you, Cyril. I will be with him shortly. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut and set forthwith. The armbands are complete. Pray, take them. They are yours, after all. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion. And the graven vines encircling the stone represent the unbreakable bonds between you.
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies both inside and outside the duchy. Enemies who would thwart his vision. Only with unwavering devotion would it ever be realized.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield, as brothers in arms. Only then might those enemies be overcome.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you, his heirs. But this was more than just a message. It was a promise. That he would always be with you.
Thank you, Lady Goditha, for remaining the steadfast custodian of our father's will.
Forgive me, my lady, but there is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them. So, how were you able to keep them from her?
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant, your father spoke to me of his intentions for the bands, of the deep love he had for both of you, and his hopes for your future. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry be sent away from the castle. It was then that I knew she meant to betray us. I tried to warn your father, but it was too late. When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the armbands and I fled into the night.
And thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, I followed the Griffin, thinking I might claim the Heartstone on its passing. And so my pursuit continued, until Lord Cyril appeared before me. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered, and that his sons were alive and well.
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my father and all the people of Rosaria, I thank you for your loyal service.
As do I.
Thank you, my lord. Your Grace, for coming back to us. For giving my service meaning.
Well, I'll mention it. Exit the required.
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
It is. And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest that you make your way to your father's memorial atop Hawk's Cry Cliff? Let him see that you have received his blessing, and that his vision lives on in you.
Just as long
I
as
suppose
shit.
it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive? Shall we pay Father a visit?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks before we left for Origin.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. It has been since the day we recovered it from Phoenix Gate. I prithee claim it, for it too is a part of your inheritance, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands than perched upon some lonely rock.
Aww.
Thank you, Cyril.
Quest is long as shit. Holy crap. It's interesting though.
Come on, Clive. He's waiting.
Let's see, yeah. Right. Left. Never knew that his memorial was down there. Alright, let's go then.
Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
To save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies? Of that I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was...
It's just back there.
Really? Aw, well,
Be safe.
sorry. I just ruined the dialogue for this. Oh yeah, I did come here. Just didn't realize what it was.
Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
Shit. He was there, giving him a salute.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then.
Onward. To the end.
We walk.
And to a new beginning.
Walking to the end. Endwalker. Oh! Oh my god, it can't be. But there's a will. Rusted battle helm. Archduke Elwin's helm worn during his victorious campaign to quell the Northern Uprising. War's coming, my boy. Let's make ready. Elwin, display and class chamber.